Hello, welcome to the first of this week's lessons. So what we're going to do today is we're going to start looking at buying high value items and different ways of paying for them. In particular, we're going to look today at hire purchase. Okay, so let's get started with our starters as usual. Have a little look at those. If you know what you're doing, bash on, pause the video. Otherwise, we'll go through them just now. Okay, so first one, find the total cost of 3 t-shirts at £12.99 each. Now, I've said here, try and do this without a chimney sum, because when we look at our amount of £12.99, we want 3 of those. But look, £12.99 is 1 pence short of £13, isn't it? Okay, so if we need 3 t-shirts at 1 pence less than £13, 13 times 3 we can work out to be £39, but for each of those 3 t-shirts we need to take a penny off. Okay, so the 3 t-shirts, the £12.99 times 3, we're going to have to take away 3 pence from our £39, so that's going to give us, oops Daisy, 38 pounds and 97 pence. Okay, the next one, round into the nearest £100. So remember, rounding to the nearest £100, find the digit which represents £100. So that's this one, this one. Oh, I'll have to think about that one when we get there, won't we? Just bear that one in mind when we're doing the other ones, will you? Okay, so back to the first one then. So the 6 is the digit that we're rounding. And remember, the 4 tells us whether we leave the 6 as a 6 or whether we move it up to a 7. And because 4 is in the round down group, we leave it as a 6. But the answer's not 6, is it? Because 6 is not anything like £643.89. And our rounded number has to represent this. Okay, so remember, you need to put zeros to hold the digits in place. Okay, that 6 here meant 600. That 6 means 600. So that's the correct answer now. Okay, on to the second one. It's the 3 that's in the hundreds place and the 8 that tells us whether that 3 stays as a 3 or whether it moves up to a 4. And because 8 is in the round up group, then the 3 moves up to a 4. So we've got 7, 4. And again, we need zeros to hold those digits in place so that the 7 still means 7,000 and that the 3 still means, or rather that the number in place of the 3 still means hundreds. Okay, now on to this last one, £49.99. How many hundreds have we got there? Well, if we just rewrite that, that is no hundreds and £49.99, isn't it? So the 0 is the hundreds digit, and the 4 tells us whether we leave the 0 as a 0 or whether we move it up to a 1. And because 4 is in the first group, when we round this to the nearest £100, it's 0. Okay, £49.99 is nearer to 0 than it is to £100, which would be the next choice. Okay, and the last one, find a half of £935. 2 ways that I want to show you of doing this. We can do 935, I'm going to do that a bit bigger actually. We can do 935 divided by 2. Or we could start with 935, split it up. So we can look at the 900, the 30 and the 5 and find half of each of those and then add them up. Okay, let's do it this way first with these. Okay, so what's a half of 900? That's 450. A half of 30 is 15. And a half of 5, remember we're talking about money, is £2.50. So altogether there, we've got 450. That makes 465 and £467.50. Okay, without doing anything very complicated there. So let's have a look at our division then, here. So, check we get the same answer. 2 into 9 goes 4 times, remainder 1. 2 into 13 goes 6 times, remainder 1. 2 into 15 goes 7 times, remainder 1. But then we're in this situation that we've come across a few times where we've nothing to carry that 1 onto, so we put a 0.0 instead. Remember, when you've got a point and you're dividing, you need to keep them in line. Okay, 2 into 10 goes 5. So we've got 467.5, but that doesn't look like money. So remember, to make it look like money, you need a pound sign. But if you've got any decimal places, you need 2. So you need to stick that extra 0 on the end there. Remember that £467.5 is not the same as £467.05, because we've interrupted the numbers here to put that 0 in, and that's not allowed. The only place you're allowed to put the 0 is on the end after the decimal point. Okay, so that's our starter questions. Now let's get on to today's work then. So our learning intentions today are to learn about HP, and I'll talk to you about that in a minute, and how it works. Okay, HP stands for hire purchase, and the success criteria for today will be that you all understand and are able to use the vocabulary that we're going to talk about that's associated with hire purchase. Okay, so have a look at these things that we've got in the bubbles here. These are the kind of things that you sometimes see when somebody's advertising a high value item. Okay, so it might be buy now, pay later. They might have a weekly cost for something that's very expensive. Drive away today for £99. Well, we know that cars cost a lot more than £99. Low deposits, spread the cost, and interest-free credit. These are words and phrases that we see a lot in adverts for high-value items. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about the kind of words that we see in adverts for high-value items and what they mean. Okay, we're not going to do very much actual working out today. We're just learning about the vocab, and then I've got 3 adverts for us to look at, and we can understand how hire purchase works. And then tomorrow we're going to do a lot more work on actually calculating the different bits and pieces that we're going to be learning about today. Okay, so here we are. Got some definitions here. So hire purchase, first of all, is what HP stands for, and it's a way of borrowing money, or it's a loan agreement. Okay, so if you see in an advert that you can pay it up, pay instalments, that kind of thing, then it's hire purchase HP. Okay, and it's a way of buying a high value item without paying for it all at once. Okay, so you will usually see the word deposit in a hire purchase advert, and the deposit is the amount that you need to pay in the first place to take the item away. Okay, an instalment is a payment that is made at regular intervals over an agreed period of time. Credit is what's meant by the situation that we're talking about, where you're able to own an item while you're still paying for it. Okay, so the amount of credit is the amount of money that you borrow in the first place that you then pay back in these instalments. Okay, to be able to get credit, you need to sign a credit agreement, and that's a legal document which commits you to paying the instalments. So once you have this item away with you, you have got to pay these instalments, whether they're weekly or monthly. Okay, and then lastly, we've got an interest rate, which is a percentage that's used to calculate the value of the instalments. Okay, so we're going to look at 3 different adverts just now, and we'll keep coming back to these definitions, and we'll learn how these terms are used in the adverts. Okay, so our first one here is a DFS advert for a sofa. Okay, so what we can see here is that we've got our, let me choose a different colour here, sorry. There That's a nice highlighting colour. Right, so what we can see here is best ever price, okay? So what we've got, it says that it's £1,999 just now, but after the event, the price will be £2,399, save £400, okay? So already they're saying that you're saving £400 on buying this sofa, okay? And then if you look underneath here, £41.64 a month for 4 years, 0% APR, no deposit. So let's just pick that apart. So the £41.64 a month for 4 years. So that's the instalments, okay? They're monthly. Okay. Now, it says here, so £41.64 a month, we've got that bit, for 4 years, okay? So we need to see how many months that's going to be then. So when we've got 4 years, what that means is, remember there's 12 months in a year, so we've got 12 times 4, which is 48 instalments to pay. Okay, it also says 0% APR, no deposit. Okay, so the deposit is 0 because they're saying no deposit. You don't need to pay anything up front. You can just, well, you won't take it away with you, would it? It's too big, but you get it delivered. Okay, and 0% APR, so that's the interest rate. So 0%, what that means is that whether you buy this sofa outright for £1,999 or whether you pay for it this way, where the amount would just come out automatically from your bank account every month for 4 whole years, whichever way you pay it, because there's no deposit and no interest, it's going to cost you the same, okay? It doesn't cost you any more to buy this sofa paying by instalments or whether you pay it all up front, okay? So what you've got to think about is, you know, in 3.5 years' time, when you're still paying your £41.64, you're sitting on a sofa that's 3.5 years old and you're still paying for it. Okay, so they're the kind of things that you need to bear in mind. It's often the case that people don't have thousands of pounds sitting around in bank accounts to be spent on high value items, but they can spare a certain amount from their monthly income. Okay, so this is how this arrangement all works. So this one, the cost of the credit is actually nothing because it doesn't cost any extra to buy this in this way. And they've done the calculations here for you anyway. Okay, so let's move on, look at another advert. Next page. Right, so this one is a car advert. So this is a Vauxhall Corsa and we've got, there we go. Just move that across so I've got the space to write. Okay, so here we've got an information about the car, and then we've got, so this is an electric car that I just picked for an example. 47 monthly payments of £320. Okay, so that's the bit that they've got in slightly bold lettering, so that's what you see. So £320 a month to be driving that brand new electric Corsa. Okay, let's write that down first of all. So the instalments are £320 each. Okay, and if you have a look, 47 monthly payments there. Okay, let's have a look and see if we can see if there's a deposit to pay now. Well, looking here, next line, customer deposit. Wow, that's quite big, isn't it? £5,732.88. So, write that down. Okay, so to own this car, we've got a deposit of getting on for £6,000, and then we've got 47 monthly payments, so that's almost 4 years, isn't it? Remember, because 4 years is 48 payments of £320. Okay, so it tells you what the interest rate is, but hang on a minute. Optional final payment of £12,154. So that's why it's not 48 there. So if you're taking this over the 4 years on finance, what you pay is £5,732.88, and you pay 320 times 47, and you pay £12,154. Now, that optional final payment there, that doesn't mean it's your choice if you pay it or not. What that means is you can choose to keep the car or not, and if you choose to keep the car, that's what you have to pay in the end. Okay, so if we were to do a calculation of that, we would find out that is quite a lot of money. Okay, what this doesn't say here, because I only picked the finance page, what it doesn't tell us is what the cash price of this car would have been if we'd paid it up front. So we will have a look at that tomorrow. Okay, we'll come back to this sort of example and we'll find out what that is. Okay, then, so that's a lot of money, isn't it? In fact, let's just going to grab a calculator and work that out just now. So our amount, so the 320 times the 47, that's £15,040. Okay, so the total amount you're paying is wow, £32,926.88. That's a lot of money, isn't it? And it seems like not such a bad deal because of these £320 a month, but you've got to put that down to start with. And if you want to keep the car when it's 4 years old, that's what you have to pay. Okay, we'll look in more detail tomorrow, like I say. It's just that today I want us to understand how HP works. Okay, and then the next one, I've got this from Curry's website. So this is a MacBook Pro, and the price is £1,199. That's if you pay for it up front. Okay, so I put my little tick in the, instead of the one-off payment, I put it in the monthly one. So it says here £46.06 a month. So that's the instalments, isn't it? So £46.06, and it says spread the cost over 36 months. Okay, and then if we can just look at this detail down here, representative example, credit amount £1,199, pay 36 monthly instalments of £46.06, and it's already worked out here. Total amount payable is £1,658.16. Right, so what they're saying there is there's no deposit there. Okay, it's just 36 monthly payments, no deposit, and then you've got this total amount to pay here. Okay, so that amount comes to, don't know why it does that big line sometimes. That amount comes to 1,658.16, just copying that from the advert. But look, the cash price was £1,199. So So if we worked out the difference between those, let's just do that as a chimney sum. Now remember, £1,199, we can write with 2 zeros there. And when we subtract, we're going to have to do a bit of borrowing here. 18 take away 9 is 9. 4 take away 9, not happening. So 14 take away 9 is 5. 5 take away 1 is 4. And 1 take away 1 is nothing. So what you've got here is an option of paying £46.06 a month, but the cost of that option to you is £459.16. That's how much extra you'll pay for this MacBook if you choose to buy it using HP and paying these instalments. So it's not a small amount, is it? If you look at that, the whole amount is £1,199. So 459, well that's kind of not that far off half, is it? If you think £600 would be half. So you are paying quite a lot for that credit, and it does tell you the interest rate here. Okay, you can, in the advert, you can click into that and look at it in more detail. Okay, what we've got here is also some more explanations. Okay, so pay nothing for 12 months. Okay, this is another option that you can take this MacBook away, don't pay anything for 12 months, and then pay the full balance at month 12 at no interest. Okay, so basically that's called interest-free credit, where you can have it for 12 months, but at the end of the 12 months, as long as you pay the full amount, which would be the 1199. Okay, it also tells you get free next day delivery on the product. Okay, that might not be the case if we weren't in the current situation where shops aren't open, but a lot of shops still do free delivery over a certain amount. Okay, and it tells you as well you get to save £20 on Microsoft 365 Family 1 year. Okay, so we've got other offers down here as well, but we've got all the finance information that we would need. So we can see that looking at these 3 examples, it appears to be the case that the more you borrow, the more it's going to cost you. Okay, that sort of makes sense anyway, doesn't it? So if we go back to our list of terms that we had, let's just check that we understand what all these mean. So HP is the way that we looked at in those 3 adverts, a way of paying over a period of time instead of paying all at once. The deposit, some of those adverts had no deposit, some of the car had a big deposit. An instalment is what you pay. In all of the cases that we looked at, it was a monthly instalment, but we're going to look at Bright House tomorrow because they're weekly. Okay, we've got credit, so that's how you can own an item that you haven't paid for. So you get credit, and the amount of credit is the amount of money that you borrow. The credit agreement is what you would have to sign. It's pages and pages of paperwork before you take the item away or get it delivered or drive it away. And the interest rate, it tells you how much interest you're going to have to pay, and that's usually a percentage. Okay, so tomorrow we are going to come back and have a look at some more real life examples, and we'll have some questions where we're working out deposits, working out instalments, working out the cost of the credit, and we'll also compare buying the same item. So for example, we'll look at maybe that MacBook and see if we can find it in some different shops and see what the comparisons are. Okay, so I will see you tomorrow to do that. The homework or your task practice for today is to go through this lesson and make sure you do understand the terms that we're talking about, the vocabulary that we've been using. And if there's any bits that you're not sure about, make sure you listen to those bits and look at those bits again. Okay, right, catch you tomorrow.